1, 2, 3. Is that coming through?
Yeah.
All right.
Put it right
Oh, yeah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Great to see you all here for the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets 2022. All right. Usually I swing this, but I see that I had a lesson here. I didn't even know I had a trumpet lesson here, so I'm going to go by the lesson. Anyway, let's go ahead and we're going to get started. So we're here for the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets. This is one of the high holy observances that the Father commanded us to observe, okay? Before we get into the reading of Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, I'm going to be a little bit thorough since I'm looking at these scriptures here. Just a little bit thorough. Somebody might be observing this for the first time this year. So give them something they may not be aware of, okay? First place we're going to start off is in Bereshit, or Genesis, the first chapter. Genesis 1. And Genesis 1, let's go directly to the point. Let's start it off at the 13th verse.
Okay. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And the evening and the morning were the third day. And Elohim said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years.
Okay, so the lights in the firmament. Anybody know another word for firmament?
Heaven.
Heavens, right, heavens, okay? They were created to first divide the day from the night, right? And then he said, let them be for signs. And believe me, we haven't even come close to understanding the signs that the lights in the heavens identify, but that's what they were there for signs, for seasons, for days, and for years. So that right there is also letting us know that the lights in the heaven gives us some type of calendar, right?
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense, though, that for there to be a calendar created by the Most High, that he would have put them up in the sky where everybody can see them. The same new moon we see, the same new moon they saw in Japan last night. Same new moon. I didn't even go up there just now to see if the new moon was up there.
Oh, yeah, no.
But the first crescent is tonight. Yeah, it might have went down. Moon might have set it by now. But yeah. And so, moving right along, let's go to Numbers, the 10th chapter. Numbers, the 10th chapter. Let's start this off at the numero uno. First verse.
Okay. And Yahuwah spoke unto Shemaiah, saying, make thee 2 trumpets of silver, of a whole piece. Of a whole piece shall you make them, that you may use them for the calling of the assembly and for the journeying of the camps. And when they shall blow with them, all the assembly shall assemble themselves to you at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. If they blow but with 1 trumpet, then the princes which are heads of the thousands of Yisrael shall gather themselves unto you. But when you blow an alarm, then the camps that lie on the east part shall go forward. When you blow an alarm the second time, Then the camps that lie on the south side shall take their journey. They shall blow an alarm for their journeys. But when the congregation is to be gathered together, you shall blow, but you shall not sound an alarm. And the sons of Aharon and the priests shall blow with the trumpets, and they shall be to you for an ordinance forever throughout your generation.
So this was something given for the sons of Aharon and the priests to blow with the trumpets. And he said that shall be to Israel for an ordinance forever throughout our generations. Okay, go ahead.
And if you go to war in your land against the enemy that oppresses you, then you shall blow an alarm with the trumpets, and you shall be remembered before Yahuwah your Elohim, and you shall be saved from your enemies.
So that trumpet being blown was a requirement. It was a requirement. It's something that the Father hears when he need to hear it. Okay, go ahead.
Also in the day of your gladness, and in your solemn days, and in the beginnings of your months, you shall blow with the trumpet over your burnt offerings and over the sacrifices of your peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before your Elohim. I am Yahuwah your Elohim.
Okay, so you can stop there. So here we find that on these Moedim, which are the appointed times, we are to, as he just read, blow the trumpets. And even specifically on I should say especially on the first day of the month. Okay. Speaking of month, let's go on to Psalm, the 81st chapter.
Yeah.
All right, Psalm 81. Psalm 81, let's pick this up at the very first verse.
Sing aloud unto Elohim our strength. Make a joyful noise unto the Elohim of Yaakov. Take a psalm and bring here the timbrel, the pleasant harp with the psaltery. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed on our solemn feast day. For this was a statute for Yashrael and a law of the Elohim of Yaakov.
So again, it's just kind of basically reiterating what we just read in Numbers, right? Concerning the importance of the trumpets, and specifically in the new moon, okay? And here in Psalm 104, let's turn there, he gives us something even more specific. Psalm 104. I'll read just one verse here. Psalm 104 and verse 19.
He appointed the moon for seasons. The sun knows his going down.
So this is a very important verse because it tells us how we understand the seasons according to the moon. The word moon means months.
Right.
I literally got into a debate with somebody about that today, in their understanding of Hebrew. Brother, that's not what it means. And look, the word moon means months all day long. And I gave this next place we're going to go to just to show proof that the moon and months mean the same thing. But that's what some cultures just say moon. They don't even say months.
Yeah.
They say, hey, last moon, new moon,
Many moons ago.
many moons ago, whatever. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Psalms 104.
So now we're going to read in 1 Samuel 20th chapter.
Not to mention Webster's call it.
Yeah, not to mention, absolutely.
You said 1 Samuel?
Yeah, 1 Samuel, the 20th chapter.
Yeah.
And I showed them this. Boy, they ain't had no response to this. First Samuel, the 20th chapter. And start us at the 16th verse.
So Jonathan made a covenant with the house of Dawid, saying, let Yahuwah even require it at the hand of Dawid's enemy, And Jonathan caused David to swear again, because he loved him, for he loved him as he loved his own soul. Then Jonathan said to David, tomorrow is the new moon, and you shall be missed, because your seat will be empty.
Now, the one thing I get from this verse is that we didn't have to go outside to spot the new moon, because they knew in advance when the new moon would appear. They knew in advance. I'm going to tell you what I've learned. What I've learned is this, because I work early in the morning, and you work early in the morning too. So what we see when you get up early before sunset is that when the moon is waning till it's not done, it'll be in the eastern sky, won't it?
Yeah.
And we'll see it the last few days, and it'll be like 3 days left. And it'll be 2 days left. It'll be a little bit lower. Then it'll be 1 day left, and it'll be a smaller sliver.
Yeah.
And then that next day, you ain't going to see it that morning.
Yeah.
And so the next day after that day is going to be the new moon.
Right.
Yep. So next time y'all up early in the morning during the time when that month is ending.
Yeah.
Because when, matter of fact, because the thing is that when the moon is full, just imagine this was the middle of the month right now. The moon is full, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all see it rise in the east right around sunset. Mm-hmm. Everybody familiar with that, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? When early in the morning, you will still see it somewhere high in the sky, west, early in the morning.
Yeah.
Right? But then, so now it begins to wane. So guess what it's doing early in the morning? It's going here, 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 here. It's going back like that. It rises up later. And then by the time it's in them last 3 or 4 days, that's when we'll see it early in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Waning. Right. So, when you know what to look for, you will be able to be like, man, I know what the moon phase is. I know where it's at right now and everything. Because that's the way the Father hooked it up like that. Our people understood it. So again, according to the verse, he said, look, tomorrow is a new moon. That means that when he got up early that morning and he looked to the eastern sky, he could see that moon.
Right.
The moon that he saw yesterday, it wasn't there no more.
Right.
Tomorrow is a new moon. Because see, sometimes you won't see it in the, like at night, when it's always going to be in the western sky. I remember a long time ago when I didn't have no understanding, I'd be like, the new moon, I'd be looking all over the sky for the new moon. But it's always in the western sky. But sometimes the moon will set before the sunset.
Mm-hmm.
And if the moon is set before the sunset, you won't see no moon. You'll be like, where is that? But it is a moon. Sometimes it's real cloudy.
Right.
You ain't gonna see that first sliver. You need a clear sky to see that first sliver. So sometimes it'll be about 2 or 3 days when you finally see the sliver. And the reason why you know it's 2 days, not only because of the thickness of it, but also because of the positioning of it. Because it's not going to be almost down, because every month is almost down when you finally see the first day. But by the second or third day, it's going to be up there. And you're going to have about 2 or 3 hours of darkness before it's set. And then it's going to be up there a little longer. And by the time it's a full moon, it's coming up in the east again. See? So the Father put that calendar in the sky. He didn't do it in vain. He did it for a reason. So people give you a calendar, a man-made calendar. Say, this is the so-called this calendar. Calendar right up here in the sky. Me and somebody in Russia could be on the telephone and be like, man, did y'all see that new moon last night? Okay, so yeah, I'll see it tonight when the sun sets here. Same moon.
Yeah.
Okay, and so he says tomorrow is the new moon and you shall be missed. Skip down to the 27th verse.
Okay. And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the second day of the month.
Oh boy, what that means?
The new moon.
Right.
The month, the moon.
Month and moon is one of the same, according to what we just read there. On the second day of the month. If they're not the same, there was no reason for him to say second day of the month.
Right.
Second day of the month is totally insignificant. But he said it because it was in relationship to yesterday, which was the first day of the month.
Right.
And it didn't say on the first day of the month, it said new moon.
Right.
See?
Which is the first day.
Which is the first day of the month. You see what I'm saying? You'd be surprised how people just don't catch that. But I know some Israelites now, they be trying, they be saying, did you see a moon? Oh, well, the new moon must be tomorrow because we didn't see it today. No. Our forefathers knew the calendar. It was eternalized in our spirit. We didn't have all these big buildings and stuff to block them where we don't.
Yeah, the sky was clear, beautiful.
Yeah. We didn't have watchers for the new moon. Some people actually believe that. I know a real prominent Hebrew speaker that believes that. I like, brother, no. You don't have to see the moon to determine that it's a new moon. Mm-hmm. And some people debate, like her pastor, for instance, she believes that the dark moon is a new moon. I think most people believe that because on calendars it says new moon will be dark. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, the only reason why I can't see that is because the moon is dark like 2 days, at least 2 or 3 days out of the week when it's dark. So which dark day are you going to use?
Right.
That's the way I see it.
I agree.
But then I also see it as that when a baby comes out the womb, you call it a what?
Newborn.
Right. But you have to see the baby, though. The baby was living comfortably in the mother's womb.
Right.
But it wasn't called a newborn until it comes out, until it breaks through the matrix. So if that's the case, then I think the sliver is revealing to everybody like, oh, there's a new moon. Mm-hmm. You see it.
Yeah. Which makes sense because the dark will be like a reset. It's like, okay, it's a reset.
Right.
Now you gotta.
But I mean, you can't call it a moon if it ain't there, though.
Right.
That just don't make sense to me.
No. Oh, now see, that I didn't even think about. You're right. You can't call the moon if it ain't there.
And even with the, like you said, the full moon is up there for 3 days.
Right. Right. That is exactly for there are some people that think the full moon is a new moon. Believe it or not.
So you're telling me it's 3 days. We got 3 days out the month. It's a
we
new
choose
day.
Which one it is. Because they don't look different. They don't look different during the time it's full. You look at it like, damn, that's the way it looked yesterday. Mm-hmm. It looks the same. Right. For 3 days tops, it looks the exact same way. You know, so anyway, but when that new moon appears, you know, man, last night I ain't see it. It's that little sliver smiling at you.
Yeah.
I'm here.
I'm here.
Oh, I'm here, okay? All right, so finally we're going to go into Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. And believe it or not, we're halfway there, y'all. We read a lot, but we're halfway there. Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. And always, especially to somebody that just might be listening to this for the first time ever. If it ain't in Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, it is not a holy day. It's not a Kodesh day. Yeah. It's not a day that has been sanctified by the Most High. Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, and start this at verse 1. Uh-huh.
And Yahuwah spake unto Shemaiah, saying, Speak unto the children of Yashrael, and say unto them, concerning the feast of Yahuwah.
Wrong word.
The appointed times.
Right. Concerning the appointed times. What's the Hebrew word there?
I don't have it. What's the Hebrew word you asked?
Moedim. So what? Well, see, I don't know.
That's a feast.
One is plural and one is singular.
So
is that what
Moed.
it is? Moed. That's what? Singular?
Yeah.
So Moedim would be plural.
Right.
Okay. Here
Like
we go.
Yomadim.
Right.
Okay, so speak unto the children of
Right. But I got to, again, emphasize, because all of these days are not feast days.
Right.
But they are all
appointed day and time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Moedim. And the Hebrew word for feast is?
Moedim.
No, feast.
Moab.
Feast.
Oh, for Moab.
Feast.
Feast, Moedim.
Nope.
I have it written down.
That ain't what the Hebrew word for.
I have no idea.
I'm sounding like a Hebrew scholar here.
No,
No, the word for Hebrew, the word for feast is kag.
Oh, yeah.
See?
Oh,
Right.
Moedim is appointed time. It don't have to be a feast.
Right.
It's just an appointed time to do what? To do whatever that day suggests that we have to do.
Okay, so Kag is feast.
Right,
Yeah.
kag.
Kazha, Sukkot.
Right. So anyway, so that word there is supposed to be moedim, appointed times, which you shall be proclaimed to be. You can read it, Philip.
Concerning the, wait a minute. You may read number 2 again?
2, yeah.
Okay, speak unto the children of Yashrael, saying to them, concerning the appointed times of Yahuwah, which you shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my Moedim.
Right. Moedim, appointed time. Go ahead.
6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Shabbat of rest and holy convocation. You shall do no work therein. It is the Shabbat of Yahuwah in all your dwellings.
So the main thing about the Shabbat is that, hey, no work. Do not work. And we have a Kodesh, convocation.
Mm-hmm.
We come together and we, enjoy our Shabbat.
Hallelujah.
Okay? Read that 4th verse, please.
What's the plural for feast?
Moedim.
Okay.
No, plural for feast.
Kag is feast.
Yeah, I just say kag.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't know what the plural these are. You don't put an S at the end because that's not how Hebrew works.
Okay.
Some people do that though. Some people put use English rules for Hebrew words.
Anyway, I'm not going to do that, but I do. Like,
I go to all the cogs. I go to all the moeds.
Yeah, that's not how it works. Yeah. Making a whole new language.
All right.
Okay, these are the feasts of Yahuwah, even holy convocations which you shall proclaim in their season.
And again, that still should be moedim.
That's
But anyway,
Moedim?
yep.
Okay, so I'll read it that way.
No, go ahead. Never mind.
These are
Skip down to the 23rd verse.
Okay, so I thought because it was going into different ones.
Right.
Got it.
Since you said that though, when I didn't really know the distinction between the two, what I used to say, I was still correct, was that the Sabbath day is not a feast day.
No, it's not.
So I thought that he reiterated that verse again after he gave the Sabbath day instruction.
Right, because that's what I thought.
That's what I used to say, but no.
Because he said these are the feasts, and now he's going into
Right.
the feast.
But technically, them still all are not feasts. So
right, because the atonement's
atonement's not a feast, correct?
Right, so
Okay.
these are the
There's
appointed times.
It's appointed
Yeah.
times.
So correct.
Even holy convocations which you shall proclaim in their seasons. Okay.
Yeah, both of them. He said both of them. So
Mm-hmm.
20 times in the holy convocation.
Holy convocations,
Right.
right.
We went down explaining.
Yeah, because that is a holy convocation.
Uh-huh.
All right, so where we at now?
We're at the 23rd verse.
23rd verse. And Yahuwah spake unto Shemaiah, saying, Speak unto the children of Yashrael, saying, In the 7th month, in the 1st day of the month, shall ye have a Shabbat, a memorial of blowing of trumpets and holy convocation.
Now, this is something that I could never figure out, and I don't think it's something for me to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
But he chose the memorial, the blowing of trumpets, to be at the 7th month. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it's to sound the alarm of the 7th month to prepare us for the rest of the Moedim of that month. That's the only thing I could come up with.
Or maybe the 7th month is just like this the time of rest. Like, you're going to have a lot of feasts in the 7th month because 7 was his. Like, 7 days is his, 7 months is his, 7 years is his.
Yeah. But I'm going to tell you the reason why it's a question for me concerning the why. Okay, but anyway, well, we had did we read that already? You read the 20. What verse did you just read?
I read the 24, 23 down to 24.
Okay, so you read the 24th verse. It said, "In the first day of the month of the 7th month shall you have a Sabbath, a memorial, a blowing of trumpets, and a holy convocation." And then what's interesting to me also is that people question whether are all of the new moons Sabbath days.
Oh yeah, that's what.
Yeah, I mean, it's a question. There's a passage in the book of Amos that kind of suggests that the new moons are Sabbaths. But in the law, it doesn't really say all of the new moons are Sabbaths.
I thought I did see a place where it said the new. Okay, maybe I was wrong.
Well, yeah, I don't think in the law, I could be mistaken, but in the, somebody say something?
Yeah, that's what I was checking. Yes, Thrasher just said, right, 7 is the completion, the same completion that will be when the end time trumpets sound. That's what he said about.
Okay. All right. So, but one thing about it that in this chapter, he definitely sanctified the 7th month, new moon, as opposed to the first month, new moon, second month, new moon, right?
Right.
Okay. So now, let's we just got finished reading about the memorial of blowing the trumpets.
Verse 25.
Right. So, wait, hold on. Oh, yeah, read that.
"You shall do no servile work therein, but you shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah."
So again, he is here. He's sanctifying one of the new moons of the year, and it is the 7th month. Okay. Now, let's go on to Exodus, the 19th chapter. Now, I've listened to other people that teach on this, and I'll be honest, I have yet to hear anyone bring up Exodus 19th chapter in their class of the new moon. What people normally do is they always go into the prophetic part of the trumpets. Like in Revelation, it's the 7 trumpets. And they always do that. But the key to me is it says memorial.
Right.
So if you memorialize something, that means something that already happened.
Yeah.
Why go into the prophetic future when you first got to figure out what they're memorializing? Which is, again, my question, because what we're about to read happens in the 3rd month. So that's what made me, I wonder why the fuck did they do it on the 3rd month and not on the 7th month? But nevertheless, I don't know. I say maybe the Battle of Jericho, maybe that might have been in the 7th month. I don't know. But we're definitely memorializing something that had already happened, okay? And I'm pretty sure this what we read here is what we're memorializing. Exodus, the 19th chapter, let's start it at the 1st verse.
"In the 3rd month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Mizraim, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai, where they were departed from Rephidim and were come to the desert of Sinai, and had pitched in the wilderness, and there Yashrael camped before the mount. And Shemaiah went up unto Elohim, and Yahuwah called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shall you say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel."
Pause there just for a second. So we know that the timing of this would be around the time of the Shavuot, Feast of Weeks, Pentecost, because it's around the 3rd month.
Yeah.
Close to the beginning of the 3rd month, if you count the 50 days. But go ahead.
Verse 4.
Ye have seen what I did unto the Mizraim, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself.
Now, therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which you shall speak unto the children of Yashrael.
So ironically, in the lesson that we have went over in the past couple of Shabbats concerning the new covenant, even in the covenant that we are under right now, we read about John the Baptist and even Yeshua always want us to call to mind this covenant. Have the people call to mind this covenant right here.
Mm.
This right here is the establishment of the nation and the covenant that the Father is making to the people.
Right, that's what Pastor just said. Mm-hmm.
What comes first, the people or the covenant?
The covenant.
The covenant.
See? The covenant.
You can't have the covenant without it. You can't have the people without the covenant.
Right,
Right.
right. The people were created from a covenant.
Right.
When we say covenant people, we got to understand it from its barest essential.
Right.
That without the covenant, there would not even be the people.
Right.
Because the people are wicked. Because how can you have the people and then have the covenant?
Well, see, what I'm talking about.
No, I'm just saying.
Right,
You gotta have,
right. But
first
the
you have to have
Abrahamic covenant is how we were created.
Right.
Mhm.
Without the Abrahamic covenant,
We wouldn't
we
be.
wouldn't even exist.
No,
Hallelujah.
Abraham was way too old to have any children.
You say that every
I do, because that's what the truth of the matter is. He was too old. Sarah was past of years,
Mm-hmm.
but we were created out of that covenant. Without the covenant, they couldn't have no children.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Ironically, as we read last Shabbat, without the obedience of Zachariah and his wife Elizabeth, John the Baptist wouldn't have been born.
Mhm.
Because they were past their age.
Hmm.
Okay? But he says in verse 5, now therefore, if. The reason why that verse is so important, if, is because some of us, we come into the knowledge of being Israel, but we don't have that if with us, right? That's why some of them know they Israel. They ain't coming and keeping the feast of the memorial of trumpets, because they don't have that if with them. That's a problem that our forefathers had. They had the genealogy down, but they didn't have this if part there.
Well, it can't, yeah.
Yeah.
Stipulation.
Yeah. You cannot, should not, it'll be stupid of you to rejoice in being an Israelite and you not doing what thus says the Most High.
Mm.
You're not keeping the requirements of the covenant that the Father made with us. So this is the reason why he wants us to continually remember this part right here, this Independence Day. This is not Independence Day.
Mm.
The Independence Day was Exodus 12 chapter,
Yeah.
Passover.
Yeah, that's Passover.
This would be the creation of the Constitution.
Right.
Oh, okay.
When was America's Constitution
Lord.
made?
4th of July.
1770.
I'm gonna see if anybody knows.
771 or something like that.
Nobody knows.
Oh, the
Are we
Constitution.
supposed
Right.
to know?
Huh?
Are we supposed to know?
I just want to know if anybody knew.
I thought it was the 4th of July is when they.
No.
But that's when they celebrate. No, that's Independence. No, it's
Somebody can check it for me. I believe it was 1789. And Thomas Paine wrote the Constitution.
okay.
And John Hancock signed it.
It could be.
Bill of Rights. Yeah, I believe 1789 is the year that pops into my mind, which is a good, 13 years after the Revolution, the Independence Day.
Mm.
So it's just interesting to see how nations are formed
Right.
and how our nation was formed.
Because they burned it
Right.
until 1812. So, yeah.
Right. So,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
1789?
Yeah.
Okay.
so,
This will be our 1789.
so right, because so again, in Exodus the 12th chapter, we weren't given commandments except to put blood on our doorposts. That was a commandment we was given.
Right.
And then, so in 3 months down the line, now he's making us a nation.
Right.
Making us a nation by giving us a constitution
Right.
and the covenant. Because he didn't speak nothing about the covenant when he brought us out. So we went for 3 months and we murmured all time of them 3 months. The whole time of them 3 months. I'm telling you, boy, you read that book, you be like, man,
y'all.
Bro, I'm just saying. I read it right now, and I read about the Passover, and I be like, ain't no way he gonna make no. It'd be like I don't know nothing.
Like you watching the movie.
Like I'm watching the movie.
It's first time.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not gonna change.
Be like $10. He ain't gonna make no covenant with Israel. $10. I bet you he ain't gonna make. That's just how you be like, man.
Even over the years of us being a people, he like, man, y'all just can't get right, huh?
Yep. Like I said, the Titanic still sink, but you be like, oh man.
Right, yeah, that's there. Yeah, for real. But anyway, so now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then, so you got an if and you got a then. Criteria. You shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all the people, for all the earth is mine. All the earth is mine. Now, we be tripping right now in this carnal dynamic. Be like, man, you hear about the racism, what they do with the black people over there in Russia or England or all that. And we just be like, man, when will it end? When will it stop? And we don't even be knowing exactly the foundation of why all that exists.
Matter of fact, yeah.
Right.
Read your scriptures, you'll see. Look at it like
when Yahshua says, know the truth and the truth shall make you free. People don't even know what that's talking about.
They don't.
They don't have no idea. And it means so much when you understand truth. It relieves you from a whole lot of stuff.
This unlocks a whole lot of keys.
It do.
Of things that you like, your identity.
Yeah.
For real. It unlocks, it enlightens you to understand who you are.
It teaches me I don't have to argue with no police. I know how to circumcise my heart and I just know how to be a better person through the knowledge and understanding. But anyway, and then he said, then you shall be a peculiar treasure to me above all people, for all the earth is mine. Now, that thing, for all the earth is mine, why is he saying for all the earth is mine right there? There's a context to that. Let's make that make sense. Anybody got any thoughts on that?
The truth is of all people on the earth is mine. It's all earth is here that he can have who he wants to be with, people we want.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
He can do what he wants.
That is true. That is true. And
putting us in let's look at it like this. The earth is his, correct?
Mm-hmm.
He put us here to keep the earth, and he gave us a responsibility to replenish the earth and to keep everything going. Being that said, we're his children, we're here on earth. This is, his kingdom on earth as it is in heaven. So above, which is beneath. So it's like we have to maintain that mirror of understanding that this is his. He created everything.
Right.
He put us here to maintain it and to keep it together.
So I'm looking at it, and he's saying peculiar treasure, which when you have a treasure, that's something that's special, that's above everything else.
Yep.
He said, well, all the earth is mine, because there's a lot of nice things on the earth. There's a lot of treasures on the earth. But you'll be above all of that. That's what I'm.
Okay. See, my thing is, I don't think any answer is wrong.
Right.
I don't think any.
That was a good. That was a good way of looking at it.
Right, and that's really kind of what he's saying from that aspect concerning the fact that, look, I know all the earth. So if I'm telling you you will procure your treasure, that means there's nobody on earth that I'm not comparing you to in terms of identifying the peculiar trait of this people. Right.
Because he values us that much.
Well,
if in a sense.
Well, you know what? Yeah, I guess there's a sense of value because the term is treasure. But when I think of peculiar, I think of just we have a trait that is so unique from everybody else on the face of the earth.
I can tell you.
And it's not necessarily good. It's not necessarily bad. It's just that there's that trait that we have. Peculiar.
Yeah.
When you see something peculiar, what does that mean?
It could be strange.
Strange or unique. Something unique.
Something that catches your attention, right? You're like, wow. So,
even how our whole DNA is set up.
Oh, see, you get too deep with me.
I'm just saying.
I never passed science, bro.
I'm just saying.
Shit, DNA. You know, there's a funny acronym for DNA, and that's peculiar too. But well, just imagine what the N word would be. That's the N word. But anyway, in DNA.
In DNA.
Something like them. Never mind. Anyway, anyway.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're good. Yep.
Anyway, but then verse 6, and I think that verse 6 might be kind of a, damn, it ain't kind of be in English. It is. It's a conjunction to 5. But go ahead.
Yeah, because there's a colon.
And see, and so because there's a colon there, my understanding of for all the earth is mine is kind of explained in that 6th verse too. Go ahead.
And you shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which you shall speak unto the children of Israel.
So 12 is kind of like what you were saying concerning the fact of the position of being, all the earth is mine. But yet, I have designated you to be the mediator.
Or the ambassador.
Right. Ambassador, mediator. I have to use them words because some people take priest to mean something that doesn't totally gives you the whole dynamic. You understand what I'm saying?
It's the responsibility of maintaining everything that he put in order.
Which is what you said.
So
Exactly. Right? But he said, you should be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. Because y'all so peculiar and you are my treasure, everybody on this earth is going to see you guys in that sense.
Right.
And it's not going to be for no one's detriment, but it's going to be for the whole world good. Right? Just like the way some people regard Vatican City today. Right? Everybody ain't trying to be Italian. Everybody ain't trying to learn Latin or whatever. But the same people ain't trying to do that. They still have a certain respect for Vatican City. And the papal, the whatever, the Holy See and all the other terms that they use for that. Okay? Because when dude come to town, man, them ain't all Catholics was lined up in the streets to see him, paying him respect, bowing before him. But that was what was supposed to be Israel. That was supposed to be Yashrael.
Right.
Okay? But anyway, it says, and you should be unto me a kingdom of priests and a Kodesh nation. These are the words that thou shalt speak unto the children of Yashrael. So in our righteousness, everybody on the face of the earth would know what Yashrael stands for, or Yashrael represents.
And his feast his appointed time.
Right. Right. All of that. The world will be in the order of its creator. That's what he wanted. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 7. And Shemaiah came and called for the elders of the people and laid before their faces all these words which Yahuwah commanded him. And all the people answered together and said, all that Yahuwah has spoken we will do. And Shemaiah returned the words of the people unto Yahuwah.
And guess what? So just like what we went through in the past couple of Shabbats, y'all. When the Father hears all that you have spoken we shall do, what do the Father do?
Oh, okay.
But he do something else. He did it twice, at least twice.
He confirmed that?
Huh?
He confirmed it?
Oh, well, let's keep
Sprinkling the
reading.
blood?
Let's keep reading. No, let's keep reading.
And Yahuwah said unto Shemaiah, Lo, I come unto you in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with you, and believe you forever. And Shemaiah told the words of the people unto Yahuwah. And Yahuwah said unto Shemaiah, Go unto the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes, and be ready against the third day. For the third day Yahuwah will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai.
Y'all got,
He
yeah.
came down.
There you go.
He ate with us.
There you go.
He sat with us.
That's right. That's right. That's 2 times. When we've said, it's almost like it's a catchphrase for him to hear. All that you are supposed to imagine in Deuteronomy 3rd chapter, when as a nation we're going to come together and return to the Most High. All that you have spoken we shall do. He said, then I'm going to come. That's prophetic. But we see that he done did it twice. When you heard them say that, boy, he was like, oh, let me come down then.
Yeah, he was excited.
He was excited. He was excited. Man, twice. See, a lot of people don't pick up on that, man. But that's what the Father, he wants from his people. He wanted.
He wants that obedience.
Man. He wants our spirit to be in tune with him.
Hallelujah.
You see. And I'm not going to take away the whole dynamic of the Most High and his subjects in terms of kind of religious thing. I like to look at it more in terms of a father and a son.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like that with my daughters. My daughters be contrary, man. I can't stand to be around them. I'm like, man, look, I don't, they, on any given day, it'd be like that. But then when they be nice and pleasant and like that and whatever, it just, right? That's just the way it is. Anybody got children understand that dynamic. That you don't even be expecting to feel as good as you feel when they, it's like when he gave you the shoes. That's when he bought you the shoes, right? You were like,
you forget all the other stuff because you're like, oh my gosh, you was so.
And that is true. You forget all the crazy stuff that they did just 2 days before, just the other day.
Yep.
Entirely, they cursing you out and all the stuff that Satan put in these children to do. But when they turn and do right, boy, it'd be like, man,
rejoice.
It's a rejoice. Because we want to see our children reflected in us.
Right.
Simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. If I'm real hardcore racist, I hate to use this as an example, but I'm a hardcore racist. I want my child to be a hardcore racist too.
Yeah.
I'm racist. Don't bring home nobody that don't look like you. That's going to be a bad day for both of y'all. But when they adhere, and because they say, well, this is how, I'm just using that as an example, even in wickedness,
yeah,
you want your kids.
You want your children to reflect you. It's just a natural response, okay? But that's what the Father was, man. Like, look, y'all, I'm about to do something for you all because it's not just enough that we just enter into this covenant, right? We're gonna celebrate face to face. I'm gonna give y'all something that ain't nobody else got, which is the way a marriage really should be. When your marriage is a marriage in a building of a family, it's like sanctified. It's a sanctification that goes there. Right, so that's what's happening here, okay? So be ready against the third day. For the third day, Yahuwah will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai. Another good thing about that is that Shemaiah is letting you know that, hey, the Father already sanctified me. I'm nobody. He sanctified me, and I have a position I have to do. But as a nation, he about to appear before all y'all. Now, y'all are commissioned in the role of a nation of priests, too. This ain't just no party game now. This is about being commissioned for the role that the whole entire earth is going to accept. That y'all ain't going to be no debates. No debates. Y'all are going to be it. And y'all about to have a testimony that I'm about to give y'all, and ain't nobody else going to have this testimony. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 12. And you shall set bounds unto the people round about, saying, take heed to yourselves, that ye go not up into the mount, or touch the border of it. Whosoever touches the mount shall be surely put to death. There shall not an hand touch it, but he shall surely be stoned, or shot through. Whether it be beast or man, it shall not live. When the trumpet sounds long, they shall come up to the mount.
So the trumpet is going to be the signal. This is what we're memorializing. This trumpet that was sanctified to bring us into this covenant with the Most High.
Okay. Thrasher said, you think the actual Most High came down for us to see? He said, that sounds crazy.
That came for us to see?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep. If you go in Exodus, the 24th chapter, you will read, which we did in the previous lessons on the covenant, that he came down and we saw his feet.
Yep, so good.
As it were on a sapphire, whatever, and the clearness of the day, whatever it said, right? And he ate and drank with us, is what he said. So I can only believe what the scripture says. I can't add or take away from it. Can't add or take away from it. So here it is that he's about to do exactly what we.
Oh, he said scary. Did I say crazy? I'm sorry.
Scary.
He said scary. I'm sorry. Sorry. He said sounds scary. And it
Oh.
does sound scary.
Oh, okay.
It does sound scary.
Okay. Hey, but see, the point is, as we're about to read it, we're going to find out that that's exactly what it's supposed to be.
Right, it's supposed to put fear.
Because that's right. Fear of Yah is the beginning of wisdom.
Yep.
Hallelujah.
Yep.
And there's a method in how the Father do things.
Yep. If you see something standing in the sky like that, and you saw feet larger than your head or larger than, think about that.
But guess what though? But here's the thing though. Before you see something, you first heard it.
Yeah. Oh,
If y'all heard something right now, y'all not gonna want to see what it is that y'all hearing.
That's why they say, you talk to him.
Now, we're gonna read all that. We're gonna read it, but that's the point
But
though.
even now during thunder, like if it's a really hard thunder, you be like, oh, the Father. To this day, people, I remember old people, I don't know if they still do it.
Yeah, they still do it.
They be like, yo, the Father mad with somebody.
Mm.
That's what they used to always say.
Mhm.
Mad with somebody. You heard that thunder?
No.
Be quiet. Sit still.
No.
How about the
Unplug everything.
You better cut that TV off. I don't believe you got the TV on and the Father out there speaking.
You did that too?
Yeah.
Yeah. We
Don't talk on the phone.
Oh yeah, don't talk on the phone. Unplug everything. Unplug all that stuff and be quiet. Turn the lights
Be
out.
quiet.
Mm.
I was mad with somebody. Like the quietness was somehow what I mean, like if you.
Hey, but you know what? I respect it though.
I do too.
That right there teaches you respect.
Yeah.
I love the concept of that.
Yeah.
The Father is speaking. Don't say nothing.
Be quiet. He's talking. Somebody getting ready to get
Right.
a meeting.
Right.
Nowadays, I kind of embrace the thunder.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm still kind of quiet though. I think it's just the thing. And
Absolutely.
Like, ooh, this-
Because, really, spiritually speaking, it is a good time to just meditate and let the Father bring something to you that you wouldn't have got no other kind of way. but through that quiet stillness. Absolutely.
Okay, he said, Josiah, you can't add or take away from anything the Gentiles already did. What's he talking about?
Oh man.
I'm sure we were doing it way before the Gentiles got their hand on any of this.
What? What are you talking about?
Add and taking away.
Oh man.
But anyway, anyway, let's see where we at.
Okay, verse 14.
Okay.
Shemaiah went down from the mountain to the people and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. And he said unto the people, Be ready against the third day, come not at your wives. And it came to pass on the third day in the morning that there were thunders and lightning, and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the trumpet exceeding loud, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled. And Shemaiah brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with Elohim, and they stood at the nether part of the mount. And Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because Yahuwah descended upon it in fire, and the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly. And when the voice of the trumpet sounded long and waxed louder and louder,
Oh shoot.
Shemaiah spake, and Elohim answered him by a voice. And Yahuwah came down upon Mount Sinai on the top of the mount. And Yahuwah called Shemaiah up to the top of the mount, and Shemaiah went up. And Yahuwah said unto Shemaiah, Go down, charge the people, lest they break through unto Yahuwah to gaze.
Just look at the hilarity of that. That
and
is
many
funny.
of them perished.
That's just hilarious.
He kept calling them up and down that mountain.
Yeah, Yahuwah came down upon Mount Sinai on top of the mount, and Yahuwah called Shemaiah up to the top of the mount, and Shemaiah went up. How did he go up? I don't know. Did he walk up? Because he called him up, so he had to, by his own power, I guess, he went up to the top of the mountain, and as soon as he got up there, verse 21 says,
Go right back down. And Yahuwah said unto Shemaiah, Go down, charge the people, lest they break through unto Yahuwah to gaze, and many of them perished.
I ain't gonna lie. I'd have been upset. I would have been happy going up there. You know, I'm going up there, people watching me go, and I'm like, going up there, happy, whatever. And then the soon I get up there, he say, going right back down. Same people saw me go up there, saw me come down like,
Yeah, you go out there with your head up and come back with your
right,
head
with
down.
your head down. I kid you not. I'd have been like, whew.
But you see, he was pleading.
I've been trying my best not to make the Father mad.
Right.
It has been hard.
But he did.
Right. And that's me. He's whatever it is that me and him together, absolutely. So read it. Go ahead.
And the priests also which came near to Yahuwah, this is 22, and let the priests also which come near to Yahuwah sanctify themselves, lest Yahuwah break forth upon them. And Shemaiah said unto Yahuwah, The people can't come up to Mount Sinai, for you charged us, saying, Set bounds about the mountain and to sanctify.
That would have been me. You charged us heavily, and we set bounds down there. Do I really have to go?
And Yahuwah was like, none of that matters. Do what I say.
Right.
And
Exactly.
Yahuwah said unto him, Away, get you down.
Oh, wait, that's the first thing I listened about. Away. And I'm sure that wasn't softly when you said that.
Get you down, and you shall come up. You and Aharon with you. Now you got to go back down and come up again. Ooh, he must have been in shape. Let not the priest and the
At
people.
120 years old.
Ooh, he was in shape. But let not the priest and the people break through to come up unto Yahuwah, lest he break forth upon them. So Shemaiah went down unto the people and spake unto them. Hallelujah.
And he had to take it out on the people, too. He wasn't nice about it. The meekest man on the face of the earth couldn't have been that meek that
I'd be
day.
like, yo, hard-headed.
Right.
Be like, did he not tell you don't touch
Right, exactly.
Because you know it's always that one. Be like,
Exactly.
it's that one.
Why you so hard-headed, man?
Right.
The rest of us scared. It's always that one.
So in the next chapter, the 20th chapter, we receive the Bill of Rights. What's the Bill of Rights? Anybody know?
10 Commandments.
But when I say Bill of Rights, what is the Bill of Rights?
That is the.
Come on, somebody help me out.
The
Y'all not
amendments,
seeing.
the 14th Amendment, the amendments, right?
The first part of the Constitution.
And what specifically? Right, well, it is. It is 10. Right, there you go. That's what I'm looking for. It's the 10, the first 10 amendments of the Constitution. Right, right. So that's why I call this the Bill of Rights. You see how they line up?
Gotcha.
This is the first 10 amendments of the Constitution. Okay? See, when you explain it that way, y'all, it does what? It gives you a good historical foundation of what we're reading because you got something else to compare it to. And it changes the dynamic from what we're reading as religious to historic.
Yeah.
This is the reason why I use the terms of Constitution and Bill of Rights. Because it's an establishment of a nation. It's no different. But the world reads this as a religious whatever, which almost borders on myth now. But we're reading it as history, and we can compare the birth of our nation to the birth of this nation because we know the birth of this nation. We knew the birth of this nation before we knew the birth of our own nation. So anyway, so that's what he gives them. He gives them the Bill of Rights, the 10 Commandments. And then I'm not going to read the 10 Commandments, but what I want to do, I want to pick it up on the 20th chapter and verse 18.
And all the people saw the thunderings and lightnings and the noise of the trumpet.
There's that trumpet again. This is what we are memorializing, y'all. The memorial of the blowing of trumpets. Go ahead.
And the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they said unto Shemaiah, Speak you with us, and
There
we
you go.
will hear, but let not Elohim speak with us, lest we die.
So right here, y'all, it's a foundation for me. It's just my opinion. I got to speak for myself. My opinion that if there was anything that gives you the credence of believing of the Messiah, Yahshua, this is it right here. This is it right here. Because the Torah, he says, and they said, oh, okay, I got that. And they said unto Shemaiah, Speak thou with us, and we will hear, but let not Elohim speak with us, lest we die. Now, if y'all didn't know, I know y'all already know, but just imagine if you didn't know. Just imagine if you didn't know. How do you think the Father would feel about them saying that?
He probably was happy because
that's the fear.
right, that's the part of the fear. That's what I
You want to have fear,
I don't.
I mean, on that angle, but
And
he'll be all right with it.
Yes, I
think
think
we'll be
I would say, as a parent, I wouldn't want my child to fear me, but in a way, I want them to respect me.
But that comes.
sometimes that comes with it.
Yeah, yeah.
That is
Because I feared my dad when I was a kid, but right now I respect him.
See,
because
the
of
fear,
the
the what makes the fear important is because our understanding is not where our understanding is ever going to be when it comes down to the Most High.
Right.
Right? In other words, I'm going to use an example. I hate to use an example, but I got to use it. The only reason I hate to use an example is I know some of y'all don't do this, but I had to use an example. This really popped in my mind.
Okay.
Fringes. And the reason why I had to use fringes as an example because you read where the Father commanded us to wear fringes, but then some people might be thinking, I don't have to wear fringes because of this, because of that, because of that. But then when you have the fear that's embedded in you, you're not going to question anything that the Father commanded.
No.
If that makes sense.
Because you told me to do it. I'm gonna do it.
Right.
I'm not going to
Right.
disobey
So
you.
I'm going to use that as an example because that's one of those things where, some people wear them, some people don't. But I'm using that as an example because, again, Because the thing is, and I'm only doing this because again in Chicago, Bowie was questioning about that, and then he gave excuses of why they don't wear fringes because we're in the new covenant, and he said that the law is gonna be in our hearts and our minds. And I said, man, wait a minute, we're not in the new covenant though, But that's what he thought. That was the excuse, and I used to believe that too. I used to have that same belief too at one point in time. But again, that was a philosophical excuse to not do it, right?
Mhm.
So fear is going to be like, I fear my parents. I don't totally understand why this commandment is this. It is like me saying, or I come in and say, well, I don't know why we keep the memorial of the Lord of the Trumpets on the 7th month. It seems to me like it would be in the 3rd month. And that's the reason, now y'all understand why I'm saying that, right? But he commanded it to be on the 7th month. So I'm going to do it on the 7th month. I'm not going to do it on the 3rd month because I believe that this is the 3rd month that we should have been memorializing it. The Father has his reason for doing it on the 7th month. Some of the reasons might be the ones that y'all shared or whatever, but I don't know. I just know that he commanded it, and this is why we're here. We're doing it.
Right.
And it's because of it. So fear has to set in first, right?
Yeah, because you don't want to disappoint the Father.
Because
Right.
The Father set these things up, and you need to obey them.
Right.
Abide by his law
Right.
and statute.
Right. Because as a child, I don't know that the stove get really hot. I might see some food come out of it or whatever. I might even smell something from it. But my concept is that it's harmful. Man, how can something so nice, stuff so tasty hurt me? But then my mom say, don't walk over there near that stove. Now, if I fear her, I ain't going to think about the why aspect because I don't know. But she told me not to go over there. So the only reason why I'm not going over there because she said,
told me not to go over there,
and she mean business. I know the consequences of going over there, and it ain't me burning my hand.
Nah.
To her, it's me burning my hand, but to me, it's like,
She gonna burn that.
She gonna burn my hand.
There it is, right there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
So that's what them. So again, that's the importance of the fear.
Hallelujah.
Have to have that fear.
Right.
Because y'all don't understand this, but everything I'm telling y'all is going to make y'all be world supreme. Everything I'm telling y'all, I'm giving y'all a diet. I'm giving y'all these holy days. Y'all, man. Y'all don't,
Man.
But they sitting there thinking, man, but we was saying, Miss Rain, we ain't good, son. We was good, but we ain't this, whatever. So we know, again, no, look, this is what I'm saying, Same thing, like here's my best example of that. I love using this example. Best example, boy. Karate Kid. That is the most best example. When Miyagi is guy, what's his name? And Daniel's so excited about it. He put them paintbrush in his hand. Look, man, I want you to pick this whole fence. I want you to do it. And Daniel thinking, this is gonna be how I'm gonna get paid. How I'm going to pay him for the training. He ain't going to train me for free. I thought he was going to train me for free. I thought we was cool. But now he telling me I got to paint all this fence here. And then he not just telling the painter, this is how you paint it. And this whole fence, you better follow this instructions. You do it, come back the next day. Hey, I'm ready to train. Now look how beautiful this fence is. Okay, look, put the things in his hand, the wax, right? Put him sanders in his hand, right? He do that, and he give him that other third, whatever the third thing was. And each time he give him to do something, what is he? Where's his attitude? Upset.
Man, you got me
mad.
Do your chores for what?
Mad. He have no idea what is happening to him until he waxed the cars. That was the last thing. Waxed the car. Yup. When he was mad. He was done. And he said, hey, come back over here, whatever. And that's when he went through the training, and he could not believe that he had learned karate from the chores that he was. That's the best example right there, though, actually. So the Father was the same way. You know, y'all were slaves, but I'm telling y'all are a peculiar treasure unto me. All this earth is mine. I got this. This is nothing for me to raise y'all high above every nation on the earth. But there's an if and then.
There's criteria. There's criteria.
Criteria. And and religions make these criteria. Religion make criteria. I'm glad I ain't got to do that stuff. That's bondage. Bondage. When somebody tell you, I know all y'all heard that before, right? But when somebody tell y'all that, all y'all got to do is read this 20th chapter of Exodus when it starts off. How it starts off, just read that right quick. Exodus 28 verse 1, and we're going to get back down there.
And Elohim spake all these words, saying, I am Yahuwah your Elohim, which brought you out of the land of Mizraim, out of the house of bondage.
That was bondage. This, what I'm telling y'all, is not bondage.
Right.
Somebody might make y'all think it's bondage. That's what they're doing with us today, making us think this bondage. This ain't bondage. This is freedom.
Right.
What I was doing before I came into this knowledge of understanding, now that was bondage.
Yep. What? I'm gonna tell you, eating those things, my body is all sick.
Right.
I got gout, my foot hurting.
Right.
I got thyroid, this stuff happened to my blood, my blood pressure is up. That's bondage.
Right.
That's suffering.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And all you know is that you eating good.
Yeah.
To you good, yeah.
Yeah, to your
right.
good.
And then, like you say, that's just one minor example of everything that the Father is commanding us to do, man. How we treat our neighbors now compared to how we used to treat our neighbors in the world. Getting irritated at the slightest thing and not knowing how to deal with it. Getting into unnecessary fights and arguments. Fighting the police and our mouth put us in jail where we could have just been obedient and been like, you know what? The Father got me on a higher plane. It's just so much.
A lot of stuff.
A lot. It's just everything. But again, we don't understand it all when we're getting these instructions. But by and by, he brings it to mind. Oh, man, this is what the Father was trying to say. This is what the Father was trying to do. You know? There's so much, you know, just like using the Karate Kid as an example, you know, you ask yourself, why did Miyagi say, look, if you paint the fence like this is the karate technique that you're going to learn? Why did he not say that? If you wax the floor like this is the karate technique.
Probably if he had done that, then he might not have done it.
Probably.
He would have fought against it. In my mind, that's how I'm thinking.
You think he would have fought against it?
It wouldn't have been.
But I mean, like, if you tell me the way, like, well, I know how to watch the car, so now I want to watch your way or whatever. You telling me about the crowd. How is this going to do that? It don't make no sense to me. How is this supposed to be? You ain't putting your whole all into it. You questioning every step of the way. So
Wow. What?
I was going to say, it just pretty much establishes discipline and patience.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's exactly what the answer is.
Right.
okay.
That's what the answer is. But it was close to what you were saying. But that's the full. But that's the full. But
I was saying, that's like why we wouldn't be the, you know.
no, the reason why I'm saying that because what you're kind of saying is that as the student, you are going through these things in your mind like, you know, and you're supposed to. But like she say, it is that discipline that's being established. You're not just learning the technique. You are being disciplined. Like I need to be disciplined in this right here. Seriously,
But
I'm not disciplined in this. That's the reason why I don't play it as much as I do. But discipline will turn me on a whole nother level if I be disciplined, and that's what he was established with him. Because doing that proper technique, even without really understanding it, oh man, you find yourself doing stuff out of routine, stuff that you would never did without the discipline dynamic to it. Right. So, but that is what the key was. The key was discipline. So, hey, Mr. Miyagi was a method in his madness, but it worked. And then also just think about the reward that he had when Miyagi showed him he was able to do something he didn't even think he was able to do. That right there is like the best teacher ever. You know, so it's a lot to that. Anyway, we're in Exodus, the 20th chapter. And I ain't gonna read
read verse 19. So
19, okay, go ahead.
And verse 20.
Uh-huh.
And Shemaiah said unto the people, fear not, for Elohim is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin.
Now, that right there should have been there, right there. So what that is, it reminds you of basic training, right?
Yeah.
Basic training. That's a tripped out thing.
Yeah.
Doing basic training, and then first thing you see guys that are almost about twice your age with the Smokey the Bear hats.
Yep.
And they look like they had the worst day ever in their life.
Probably did.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. They had a good breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
They got, but that ain't what we see, though.
When they come,
When they come, it's like these guys look like they had the worst day. And then the thing that was really tripped out to me is that you see these guys for about 2 weeks, then all of a sudden there you'll be somewhere that says attention, and then you meet your company commander. And your company commander, they're standing attention to the company commander, who's going to always be the second lieutenant, first lieutenant, or maybe a captain. Maybe a captain. And he's always going to look just like you. 22 years old, too younger, 22, because he came out of captain school, right? But he is the company commander. But it's all the discipline aspect, because they know exactly what they're mentally giving their recruits or whatever. And so, some people that don't know it, they take it seriously. They get offended by this dude talking at them, whatever, but they don't understand that that's the process.
Right.
So
they're showing you that if you ever get captured, you might have somebody.
Which is exactly what we just read. And Shemaiah said to the people, fear not. Mm-hmm. That's what you're supposed to do, fear not. Or don't even act according to what they're giving you. For Elohim has come to prove you.
Or test you.
Right. He could have brought y'all right into a place that looked just like Mizraim. Nice buildings. There go your house, there go your house, and there go your house. No, it don't. That don't make for a good servant of the Most High. You have to go through process. You have to be purged. Purge is what this is, which is what basic training is. It's being purged. Yeah. You got to go through that in order to be the right caliber, the right soldier, the right servant that you're here to be. Okay? And it says, prove you that his fear may not be before, may be. Right, before your face, and you sin not. Because that's the key right there. You cannot be a peculiar treasure and you still got this sin on you. You cannot be a peculiar treasure and you still got Mizraim on you. You still sitting back recalling whatever good in Mizraim and you was a servant.
Yeah. That's why.
Right.
That's why most of them had to die off, because they had Mizraim.
Exactly. I'm transferring you from a third class no citizen to a first class citizen. Right. But it ain't gonna come the way you think it should come. No, that don't work for nobody. Right. Even in America, again. I always got something to compare it to. Right. See, we're 200 years on this side, but America was set up as New England, subjects of King George. All the English people that had colonies here, they had respect to the throne. Right. This was the reality of what America was. But then some, and I don't even know who the first person was, that said, you know what, we need to get out of England. We need to get out of this monarchy, because he's all the way over there and we're all the way over here. Okay, so it had to be kind of a brave dynamic when you really think about it, that the colonists came together and they like, we're about to form our own country here.
I think they said it was the Puritans.
You know what? I'm ashamed that I don't know the story behind that. But then they had the Boston Tea Party, and someone rose up and say, like, look, taxation without representation. No. We ain't got no rights, but we over here and we're sending wealth back over there to the mother country or whatever. They're like, no, this got to stop. So George Washington and all of them got together and formed the Continental Army. And they fought against the Redcoats, which was an organized, world-leading army, and they got their independence from them. So, I mean, you just compare the dynamic. But my point is, the whole concept of there being an American nation didn't come easy. Didn't nobody hand them a country. They had to fight for the rights to be a country. Okay? So it ain't. Say it again?
Fight for your right.
Absolutely. Okay? So where we at?
Verse, I read 21.
Okay.
Verse 22. And Yahuwah said unto Shemaiah, thus shall you say unto the children of Yashrael, ye have seen that I have talked with you from heaven.
Right. Stop right there. Okay, stop right there. Let's move over to Deuteronomy 18 chapter, because I wanted to answer the question that I had asked earlier, and it's answered in Deuteronomy 18 chapter. Deuteronomy the 18th chapter, y'all. And pick this up. It's going to go directly to the point. Pick this up from the 15th verse.
Okay, hallelujah. Yahuwah, your Elohim, will raise up unto you a prophet from the midst of you, of your brethren, like unto me. Unto him you shall hearken. Now,
on a whole nother level, let me look at this. He says, Yah thy Elohim will raise up unto y'all a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren, like unto me, Shemaiah. Unto him you shall hear. You got people so confused, they say, oh, Jesus is the Father. He's the one that they were actually dealing with. They weren't dealing with the Father. Well, in this passage right here, this is the Father speaking, and he's saying that, this is Shemaiah speaking the words of the Father, that he is going to raise up a prophet. The prophet ain't going to be the Father. The Father didn't say, I'm going to turn myself into the prophet. Y'all understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Right. He said he would raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thy brethren, like unto me. Unto him you shall hearken. Watch this. Go ahead.
According to all that you desire of Yahuwah your Elohim in Oreb, in the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear again the voice of Yahuwah my Elohim, neither let me see this great fire anymore, that I die not. And Yahuwah said unto me, they have well spoken that which they have spoken.
Absolutely. So now we see what the Father thought of that, right? Like, hey, they have well spoken what they said. Absolutely. Because this is my order. There's always got to be a mediator between y'all and me. That's what he was establishing. He put the fear of himself in them, and he calls them to beg for Shemaiah to be the voice of peace. And even after all that, they didn't have no respect for him, but that's a whole other lesson. They begged for him to be the one that speaks, collectively as a nation. And no sooner as he went back up, they trying to kill dude. Make that make sense. But again, it establishes the whole function of Yahshua to me. Because the Father always had to have an intercessor between him and the people. That makes sense? And the thing is bounded in the law. We're not just using the prophets to say, oh, that's Yahshua. We got right here in the law that he had established an order that there has to be an intercession between me and the people. So if you don't believe in Yahshua for nothing else, understand that in the law, he set that order right there. All right. Move right along. There's a few more places, y'all. A few more places. Few more places. Yeah, real few more places. Joshua, the 2nd chapter. I made a joke earlier. I'd be like, man, when I came home from work today, I said, if I see this bed, boy, they're going to have to tell me how class was tomorrow. I be trying to work into teaching. As soon as I get up here and open these scriptures, man, the Father, he makes the burden a whole lot more lighter. All right. Joshua, the 2nd chapter. Start this off at verse 1.
And Yahshua, the son of Nun, set out of Shittim 2 men to spy secretly, saying, Go, view the land, even Jericho. And they went and came into a harlot's house named Rahab, and lodged there. And it was told the king of Jericho, saying, Behold, there came men in here tonight of the children of Israel to search out the country. And the king of Jericho sent unto Rahab, saying, Bring forth the men that are come to you, which are entered into your house, for they be come to search out all the country.
And then suddenly the king of Jericho knew where they were at and knew directly who to go. Look, woman, bring us these guys that have came to you. I'm not asking them if they came to you. I'm telling you that they came to you.
Isn't it back then? I don't know how it was back then, but most of the old movies that you see, but period pieces, the harlot's house was like a hotel.
Right, it was an inn. Absolutely, it was an inn. It was a hotel. It was all that. Absolutely, correct. Go ahead.
4. And the woman took the 2 men and hid them, and said thus, There came men unto me, but I wist not whence they were.
Right.
I knew not where they were.
Right.
And it came to pass about the time of shutting of the gate, when it was dark, that the men went out. Where the men went, I know not. Pursue after them quickly, for ye shall overtake them.
Man, this woman was wise. She was doing her thing, boy. She's like, man. She probably had more words than that than what we read here. She's like, they scared me to death. I'm some peculiar looking man. I can't wait till they left my boat. And I hope y'all catch them. She probably threw a couple of them in there too.
Verse 6. But she had brought them up to the rooftop of the house, and hid them with the stalks of the flax, which she had laid in order upon the roof. And the men pursued after them the way to Jordan unto the fords. And as soon as they which pursued after them were gone, they shut the gate. And before they were laid down, she came up unto them unto the roof. And she said unto the men, I know that Yahuwah hath given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. For we have heard how Yahuwah dried up the water of the Reed Sea for you, when ye came out of Mizraim, and what ye did unto the 2 kings of the Amorites that were on the other side, and other side Jordan, Sihon, and Og, whom ye utterly destroyed.
So again, I am reminded just by reading what she's saying here, is that what we're reading is world history. Before the Europeans came along and made their history world history, and everything else is fables. I mean, think about it, really. Everything else is really fables in our comprehension, because you got world history and you got just mythology, fables and whatever. But before that, this is world history. This woman is a Canaanite woman, and she is giving them information about them and her country. I mean, it sounds simple, but it's not simple. Because the woman had 2 other emotions that she had to circumcise before she was able to do this right here. First emotion was fear, because the king know that you had these guys in your house. So she had to put the fear behind her to be able to concoct this whole facade of, yeah, they did come here. You're right, they came, but they left right before the gates closed, and this, that, and the other, and this, that, and the other. That was a scary and a brave thing for her to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just on a whim. So she had to overcome the fear dynamic to do that. And then she had to, I forgot what the other one was I was thinking. There's another emotion she had to overcome. But the thing is that she did overcome them. And she broke down everything that she understood to these men. Because shoot, who knows? They might have been scared. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm in the house right here and I'm like trying to play it off and be like natural, and all of a sudden I hear a knock on the door, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And this woman telling me to go up to the rooftop and hide, I'd be like, man, I'm gonna go up on that rooftop, man. I ain't gonna be feeling confident. I ain't. No. But anyway, I know y'all get tired of me trying to put my whole dynamic in the but it's just how I am. I be trying to be into the emotion of what's happening and
Like
feel it.
somebody at the door?
Huh?
Like somebody at the door?
Yeah.
Okay.
Firstly, I'm saying don't answer.
Yeah. No, nah.
Don't answer.
Cut the lights off.
Right. But she broke down the truth, man. She broke down the truth to these men. These men didn't have to open up their mouth and say anything. As far as they're concerned, they was trying to be as much Canaanites as they could possibly be. Right, you know? But she like, look, I know who y'all is. And I know what y'all did here. I know what y'all did to that king there, man. She broke it down to them. They didn't have to say a word. Go ahead.
Verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as we had heard these things, our hearts did melt. Neither did there remain any more courage in any man because of you. For Yahuwah your Elohim, he is Elohim in heaven above and in earth beneath.
So, and again, what's funny to me is that all of the surrounding nations knew what the truth was. We didn't know what the truth was. We didn't know what the truth was. That's crazy to me. Everybody else around us was like, man. But then we sitting up there doing everything contrary, but these other nations wish that they had our status. All right? Go ahead, finish that.
Verse 12.
Uh-huh.
Now therefore I pray you, swear unto me by Yahuwah, since I have showed you kindness, that you shall also show kindness unto my father's house, and give me a true token, and that ye shall save alive my father and my mother and my brethren and my sisters, and all that they have, and deliver our lives from death. And the men answered her, our life for yours, if ye utter not this our business. And it shall be, when Yahuwah have given us the land, that we will deal kindly and truly with you.
Right. And so one thing that we also can get out of this too is the understanding that the Father is merciful. Because Rahab had the judgment of death on her because she was a Canaanite.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody in her family was supposed to have been dead. But the Father showed mercy on this brave woman, a Canaanite, and she like, look, it ain't just me. Everybody I can get in my house, when y'all come, and they ask them, well, do they keep the Sabbath? do they do this? Are they home? Do they? No. This is what it is. Now, how she got the people in the house, I don't know. Did she tell them the truth of why they were in the house? She must say, I got to get together, whatever. I don't know. But the point is that she got whoever she got in her house, and all that was in her house was saved, all Canaanites, and they became part of the nation of Israel.
And that's probably why they didn't ask them to keep the feast or appointed times and all that, because he knew that once we took over, you're going to mold yourself to what we do.
Right. But the reason why I said that, because we need to be careful how we judge people is the reason why I'm saying
That's true.
That's what I'm talking about, And then knowing the mercy of the Most High, to see these Israelites be out here and teach the doctrine they teaching concerning, can't nobody be saved with Israel and all this madness that they teach. It's like, man, you should be showing compassion to people of other nations more so than showing some condemnation, because the Father did not condemn these people. The Father did not condemn the Gibeonites, which also had a judgment of death on them. And they fooled Yahshua, the son of Nun, to be delivered.
Or even Nineveh, the people of Nineveh.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Nineveh. Exactly.
Yeah.
Total enemies of Yahshua. But the Father said, hey, they got to be taken out now. And he sent the wrong prophet to go to try to teach them.
It's like, man, I ain't trying to go.
Man. Yeah. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to read one more place. Matthew, the 24th chapter. One more place. I'm going to close down on that. I cut it short for y'all just a little bit. Matthew, 24th chapter. And we're going to go directly to the point. Pick this up at the 25th verse.
Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. For as the lightning comes out of the east and shines even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
And there ain't no flesh walking around. And he's going to say, hey, guess what, y'all? I am the one that the Bible prophesied about. We got people that do that, too, say that. Like Elijah Muhammad, he said some crap like that concerning Fard Muhammad, right? They even celebrate his birthday every year, like
February
Christmas.
26th or February.
That's right, 28, yep. And call it Savior's Day.
No.
But he said, look, ain't nobody gonna be walking around and that be me. You looking at me walking the same sidewalk you on, talking about you the Mashiach.
Right.
For there shall rise false messiahs, Mashiachs, and false prophets, and they gonna show signs and wonders. Insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I told you before. Behold, if they say unto you, hey, guess what? He's in a desert. Damona. Ben Ami. That's where he's at in the desert, but that's where he was until the Father took him. Go not forth. Oh, go not forth. Don't go there. How about that? Behold, he is in the secret chambers. Don't believe that. Go ahead.
For as the lightning cometh out of the east, it shines even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together.
And look how he connected the coming of the Son of Man to bloodshed. That's deep.
Mm-hmm.
That's somebody, hey, hello, I'm back. You said, look, man, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. That's what you're looking for with the Mashiach.
Right, I came not for peace, but for a sword.
That's right. Okay, go ahead.
Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other.
Here go a question. Who is the elect?
The ones that serve the Most High.
No, I like her answer. Her answer is exactly what the
serving
answer
the
is.
Most High, keeping His
The
commandments.
one that's serving the Most High. That is who the elect is. The one that was able to reject all the traditions of men and follow the Most High in spirit and truth. That is who the elect is. The elect will be together keeping the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets right now. That is who the elect will be. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 32.
Okay, you don't have to read 32. That's it, y'all. I just wanted to read that because to show that the trumpet is also the sign of the coming of the kingdom. Okay, because I didn't get into all the other prophecies about the trumpet and everything, but the trumpet is so important, and in regards to the Most High, that He allowed us to have a day to memorialize it, to celebrate it, and to remember it's part of the kingdom.
Hallelujah.
Anybody got any questions, comments, anything? Nothing?
Nobody else.
Okay, I hope somebody got something out of this. Hope somebody online got something out of this. May the Father have the blessed with reading His word in Yeshua's name. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Those of you online, enjoy the rest of the memorial of the blowing of the trumpet.